If you're like me, you've wondered how safe it is traveling the ocean crammed into a homemade narco-submarine, sharing very limited space only with other narcos and tons of cocaine. We now have an answer: not very. When Colombia's Navy intercepted this narco-sub in the Pacific Ocean, inside they found 3 tons of coke and 2 dead narco-sailors. That shocking find isn't at all the only new narco-sub action here. So many drug subs have recently been found on the oceans, rivers, and on land, they're stacking them up. Using subs and semi-subs to move tons of coke around the globe is on the rise. This one, quite literally, raised from its watery grave in Europe. Guess what was found on that? The Mob reporter here with an armada of news on narco-submarines, one of my favorite subjects. So much news it seems drug subs may soon reset what we think we know about global bulk cocaine movement, erasing or reducing the strategic focus on commercial ports. Let me tell you about it. The grim find was announced by the Colombian military on March 12, 2023. A narco-sub was spotted in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Colombia. When a Colombian naval ship intercepted, sailors were met with no resistance. These narcos didn't even try to run, and sailors soon found out why. Inside, they found 2,643 kilos of cocaine, tightly pressed into waterproof bricks, which was anticipated, and then something that was unexpected: 2 bodies of narco-submariners. Another 2 were found barely hanging on. They had clambered out of the sub when they realized something was wrong, before collapsing. They could be seen lying on top of the sub when the Navy arrived. They were taken to hospital for life-saving treatment. It was inside that the true horror of their trip was discovered. The sub was largely flooded with water. The bodies were found alongside the illicit cargo. The Navy said they think the men were overcome by a buildup of toxic fumes, likely from the fuel. It seems whoever designed and built this puppy didn't do a great job with ventilation, which, along with waterproofing, is a pretty crucial component of a sub. The cocaine was given an estimated value of more than $87 million. It was all on its way to Central America, where Colombian cocaine is transshipped to the United States, Canada, Europe, and Australia. It was a busy time for the Colombian military. They've caught at least 6 narco-subs over 2 weekends. Some were caught off Colombia's Pacific coast and some off its Caribbean coast. 2 were found in a blackmarket shipyard, along with their anticipated cargo. This pair of unfortunate narco-submariners can't be the first to die on such a perilous journey. Some homemade narco-subs have traveled fully across the ocean. Around the same time, the Colombians were examining their narco-sub haul off the western coast of Spain, in an area known as a smuggler's paradise. Fishermen spotted this: a narco-sub seemingly adrift. Only the sub's front tip was visible at first, as it floated almost vertically, like an iceberg, most of its 50-foot length underwater. It was found in the Rio de Rosa, off the Atlantic coast, in Galicia, an area long used for smuggling because of its many hidden coves and its population of skilled seamen. Police and specialized divers with the Guardia Civil, one of Spain's national police forces, went to investigate. After a day of trying in uncooperative weather, the dive team and an underwater drone couldn't open the hatch. They returned the next day, refloated the sub, and towed it to a nearby port. There they got a good look at it, inside and out. After what had just been found on the Colombian sub, they were pretty much ready for anything to be inside. And when they opened it, they found nothing. No drugs, no coke, no dead narcos, and certainly not living ones. The missing crew had even given their narco-sub a name: El Poseidon, named after the ancient Greek god of the sea. Poseidon is said to be the protector of seafarers. Perhaps he was watching over those on board this sub. That might explain why it's empty and they appear to have gotten away. Police believe it completed its mission from South America and unloaded its cargo at sea, passing the bales to boats that came to meet it. Perhaps no one wanted to drive El Poseidon back, and who could blame them? Once empty, they may have tried to scuttle it, but didn't stick around long enough to make sure it hit the bottom of the sea. Or perhaps it was already leaking, and they abandoned it to sink once the coke was in safe hands. Police believe it is linked to a recent discovery of 2 narco speedboats abandoned on a beach nearby. That makes sense. There have been 2 other narco-subs discovered in that region. In 2019, an enormous narco-sub was seized about 30 miles south of where this one floundered. That one was still hot when it was caught, loaded with 3 tons of cocaine. It was the first transatlantic narco-sub caught in European waters, but likely wasn't the first to arrive. The others came and left undetected. That find followed the discovery in 2006 of a locally made semi-sub. That one suffered deficiencies, both in design and handling, and it was found stuck in the river after being abandoned with its engine running. Most narco-subs are built in South America, handmade in bootleg dry docks on rivers that penetrate deep into the jungle. Most are semi-submersibles, meaning they don't go completely underwater. They just ride as low as possible in the water, making them hard to detect. But some narco-subs are true submarines, like this one. A fully operational 100-foot submarine with a diesel-electric twin-screw engine, discovered in a remote river in Ecuador, just a few miles across the Colombian border back in 2010. This puppy was built for long-range underwater action. It had a conning tower, air conditioning, and a periscope. It could have carried 10 tons of coke and a crew of 6. That was hailed as the first completely submersible, clandestinely built transoceanic narco-sub to be found, and it was a sign of the future. Colombia's police and military forces routinely seize more munitions and drugs in a week than most countries do in a year. But narco-subs seem to be more and more on the menu. They're popping up more often in more places. It seems global transit of bulk cocaine is undergoing another transformation, away from shipping containers arriving at major ports, or at least adding greater diversification towards increased underwater navigation. As technology improves, I expect we'll see much more of this ahead. Please share a link to this video on social media to give it a boost. Tap the thanks button somewhere around this video to send me a tip. And please subscribe, give it a like, and comment on it too. That all helps me a lot. Thanks for watching.